Good evening all, and welcome to round 5 of the 2013 GPVWC World Sports Series, live on simrace.tv, with myself, Nick Rowland, and Lewis McGlade, alongside me in the commentary box. Good evening to you, Lewis.
Yeah, good evening to you as well. Hopefully we'll get this race underway in about 2.5 minutes. That is after the warm-up lap. Hopefully this season's going to get quite interesting from now on, as we are round 5. It's good to be back, as it's been about 6 weeks, I think, since the last race in Monaco. And we only have 6 rounds to go, so hopefully from here on out the championship will hot up. There's only 22 points between Oscar Hardwick and Alex Cooper, so there's gaps to be closed there. And Oscar Hardwick at the moment is leading by a fair margin. He's taken 3 wins as well. So I wonder if Alex Cooper needs to push a bit more to pull it back, if that makes sense, to close in that gap. But both drivers look exceedingly strong. I think this fight could really hot up over the next 6 rounds, and hopefully it will do a very nice job to spice up some action this evening.
Yeah, absolutely. It was a bit of a washout when it came to Monaco. It was quite an eventful race around Monaco, where Wopke Hoekstra won the second race. That was all, like you said, way back in May now, 6 weeks ago. So these guys are getting used to the Porsche cars once again. But we're at Istanbul, the beautiful Istanbul circuit that you want to feel a bit sad to lose in the F1 calendar. But nevertheless, it's going to be very taxing and challenging for the drivers, specifically, I'll get that word out, through turn 8, obviously, with how much it punches a front right tyre, and these cars a lot more weight to them. Apparently after lap 3 they start to feel it, and it's a 13 lap race, so come the end of the first 13 laps, obviously there's 2 races, remember. At the end of the first 13 laps, it's going to be pretty mashed front right tyre, I think there, Lewis.
Yeah, I mean, tyre degradation's always been kind of high around here, and on your screen right now we've got Alex Cooper just approaching the section that you were talking about. This is turn 8, a quadruple apex left-hander. Get that word out as well. Such an interesting section in these cars. I was watching Alex Cooper in the practice session quite a bit earlier, and the rear end always kind of steps out. They're not really as stable as we've seen a lot of open wheel cars go around here recently with the GPVWC, and all of these cars are stable going around that section. I mean, some look a bit out of shape with setup wise, but these Porsches, they don't really seem to be too stable going around with the back stepping out, and that won't do too good for tyre wear. It's going to degrade the rear tyres a lot quicker. So in this 13 lap race, if tyre degradation is as high as some people think, we are going to have a very interesting last few laps.
We are indeed. Alex Cooper just coming around now to complete a lap in warm-up. He's leading the way in warm-up, in fact. He's not taking pole position. That's gone to his championship rival, Oscar Hardwick, in fact, for Milk Racing. He's on pole position for today's race. And then it comes Alex Cooper. We'll run through that momentarily, though. The rest of the standings, though, look like this. It's Oscar Hardwick on 143 points to Alex Cooper's 120. Tom Parker's in third on 85, with Peter Kassa on 69 and Jordan Weeks on 60. The Constructors looks like this, with Midnight on 178, Milk Racing on 169, Simink on 135, CSG Racing on 76, and Innovision on 70. Now, it's our understanding that there will be no Simink Inc. cars out there today, so there could be a chance for a few teams behind to start to close in on Simink. And also, Tom Parker is in the Midnight cars today also. In terms of weather, there's no rain forecast, but we expect it to probably be a bit of a cloudy race, but hopefully no rain.
Attention grid, all non-essential personnel leave the grid now.
It's always something that we can hope for is no rain. Because, I mean, rain spices up a race, and we all like to see a bit of rain. We saw quite a bit of rain out in Monaco, and hopefully going here, this is generally a drier track anyway, so I think some of the drivers are hoping just to return to the season, after the 6-week break that we've had, just to have a dry race to get used to the cars. They are all lining up on the grid now to get their warm-up lap underway.
They are indeed, just everyone lining up on the grid now, and as they dart away, it's Oscar Hardwick leading the way. So I'll just go through the qualifying positions for you. So Oscar Hardwick on pole position from Alex Cooper, who is in second. We then have Tom Parker. He is in third position. with Watkins in 4th place. And then we've got John Watkins in 5th position. Matthew Allington is in 6th with Pedro Mellon. He is in 7th position. And then we've got Scott Beresford in 8th. Jordan Weeks is in 9th position. Gary Lennon is in 10th. And Lewis, I'll let you run through the second half of the grid.
Okie dokie. So in 11th place for the last half of the grid is Paul Joseph. Then following him is Jason Muscat. Paul Watkins is in 13th place. Followed by David Stanton in 14th. Then on the for 15th place is Miles Dixon, followed by DeConnick, followed by Williamson, Sovic, Clip, Guest, and that is the lot for the grid. And from what I can see currently, Glenn Guest is in front of Matt Clip, which it should be the other way round. Hopefully that will sort itself out by the time they've gotten back to the grid, I'm sure.
Yeah, I think Matt Clip had a slight moment, so he just dropped back slightly, but he should catch up. They're all going through this turn 8 now, which is very, very difficult for these drivers, and the nature of these cars, obviously with being rear-wheel drive and having the engines over the rear as well, probably relieves the front right a little, but the instability it creates through turn 8 is not going to be great for the drivers, and they will have to cope with that from quite early on. They're coming down the sweeping back half of the track, going through turn 11, coming over the rise over the crest of the hill, coming down towards turn 12. So these guys getting ready. Like I said, it's been a while since they've even been in these cars. Some 6 weeks since the Porsche's been out on track, just due to the nature of the amount that's been going on within GPVWC lately. Ambient temperatures 26 degrees with a track temperature of 39, and it is blue sky at the moment. There were clouds forecast, but they seem to have just held off for the time being, as these guys now filter around to start the start of the race.
Yes, hopefully we're going to get an interesting race. I hope it's going to be a clean start. As much as some people do like to see a good old crash, but I think for a start, round this circuit, the first and second corner are like open for overtaking, but sometimes they can kind of encourage a crash just because of the section that's laid out. But hopefully we're going to have a clean start and a good race over the next 13 laps.
Yep, of course, then we will have the reverse grid in the second race, which should be another 13 laps, and I think it's 15 to 19 backwards that the reverse grid will be. But we're just waiting for the last few drivers to line up now. That's a precarious position with Pedro Mellon there, but here we go. 4 lights, 5 lights, and the Istanbul World Series race is underway. And a good start there from Oscar Hardwick. And Alex Cooper slots straight into second place. Tom Parker is held on to third. Matthew Allington's gone around the outside there by looks at Whoop Hoekstra. Yes, he has. Sorry, down the inside. Hoekstra was left on the outside there. Mellon has come up to 6th position and Beresford into 7th place, but it's been relatively clean start. I think there was a bit of contact back down through the pack. I think someone's at the back of the field there. Looks like one of the that looks like John Watkins has had an issue there. Oh, straight on at the top of the hill there, Chris Williamson going off at turn 4. He's down in 16th position. But at the moment, it's been solid enough for these guys at the front, and Oscar Hardwick and Alex Cooper have already made a slight break from Tom Parker, and Allington's actually now challenging Parker, coming down into turn 6. Oh, that's going to be very, very late. Parker really getting the rear of the car, stepped out there. Oh, and Allington spun! He clipped the inside curb and it sent him round. That's a horrible moment from there. He was chasing down Cooper, and I thought, Parker, and it looked like he was going to have a run at him, but not to be now, and it's allowed Hoekstra back up into 4th. To chase down the second midnight.
Yep, as said earlier, we did hope for a good clean start. We did have I think there was a little bit of contact. I think I saw one of the slipstream cars slightly sideways going through turn 1, but relatively clean. It seems like most people have kept their position. Obviously, Oscar Hardwick.
It looks like he's game on for the lead as well, because Oscar Hardwick got sideways coming through turn 9 and 10, and this is giving Alex Cooper a run going through turn 11. He's right underneath the rear wing of Oscar Hardwick coming down towards turn 12. Hit the brakes much later, will he? Yes, he does go very late into the braking zone, and so does Oscar. He's gone late into the corner, but holds off the position, holds on to first place. A great battle between the first and second guys straight away, and these guys first and second in the championship as well. And Tom Parker is not too far behind, with Hoekstra now broken away slightly from Pedro Mellon, and Beresford is in 6th.
Every point can mean anything towards the end of the championship, and I think Alex Cooper knows that. He needs to get past Oscar Hardwick if he wants to, wants to win this race. But
he made a mistake as well. Oscar Hardwick making another mistake going into turn 1. He got completely sideways going through turn 1. And now on the outside is Alex Cooper going up towards turn 3. In towards 3 and 4. Around the outside, can he hold it through 3? Can he brake later for 4? He can indeed. And he's gone up the inside. Oh, bit of touch there, bit of rubbing. Oscar Hardwick's going to come straight back at him, I expect. Bit of nudging again there. And back through goes Oscar Hardwick. So he holds on to first place, but Cooper's been all over him. And now Tom Parker's close on the pair of them.
Great side-by-side action there from the two championship leaders. I'm going to look at some position changes here. Doesn't really look like we've had too many of them, if I'm honest. But this is where the action currently is between the top 3. And now it does look like it is going to be the top 4 as Whipley Hoekstra is closing in on that gap as well. So he's closing in on Tom Parker. Tom Parker's closing in on Alex Cooper. And Alex Cooper is all over the rear wing of Oscar Hardwick.
He is indeed, and going through turn 8, on the entry of turn 8, Hardwick got it a little bit wrong, and Cooper had a nice little run through there, and again through 9, Oscar Hardwick's gone a bit later on the brakes, and Alex Cooper's got a run, but I don't think he's close enough this time by Tom Parker. Went a bit deep, got away with it, as Hoekstra closed in. He's 6/10 behind at the moment, so he's in a bit of fresh air, with Melham and Beresford just behind as well, so they're getting close, but here we go again. Alex Cooper is going on for the race lead. This time he moves to the inside, but Hardwick again breaks very, very late. Too late. Oh, he's completely sideways. Oh, good save there from Oscar Hardwick. That was horribly crossed up for him going into turn 12, but he got it all sorted out, and he held on to the race lead. A great job from Oscar Hardwick, and it's allowed Parker's close, and Hoekstra, he had a great late lunge down into turn 12, and look at that, fastest lap as well for Hoekstra, 154.8.
Yep, looking very strong there for a podium position. You're just going to wonder who it's going to go to. Alex Cooper just seems to be keeping Oscar Hardwick under pressure, making sure that he's in every position to make a mistake. Alex Cooper, though, looking really strong coming up the hill towards turn 3. He's not quite close enough to make a move. However, his teammate, it's going to be a close. Not quite, not quite. It's just, I think it's close, but not quite as near enough for an overtake at the moment between the top load. But they are, all 4 drivers in the top 4 are within 1 second. They are extremely close as this group.
Absolutely. Hardwick made a slight mistake again, and then Cooper made a mistake himself up at turn 3, which allowed Parker to close through 4 and 5, but it wasn't to be enough for him, as Hardwick just started to get the car settled now. 4/10, he's opened up a slight gap as they go up towards turn 8, this punch in turn 8. It's interesting to see just how different a line both Hardwick and Cooper take through there. Oscar Hardwick takes more of a Formula 1-esque line, going quite high, and then coming back down through the apexes, where Cooper stays very low in the line early on, and lifts through the first apex, but then carries the speed through the second and third. So they achieve their speed fairly similarly, but they do it in very different ways.
Yeah, again,
Parker's made a mistake there. It looks like Hoekstra just slipped through. He has indeed, so Hoekstra's up into third.
Yep, you are right indeed. So Hoekstra making a good move there to get into a podium position now. Obviously, we are only on lap 2 of 13 so far, so sorry, I think it's 3, isn't it? Lap 3. But
yeah,
there you go.
3.
Parker's moved back up past Hoekstra. Hoekstra is not letting that go. Or there's a bit of contact between the two of them. Hoekstra keeps 3rd place at the moment. Not going quite well for Parker for over the last lap. As he actually goes wide on the last corner as well. Oscar Hardwick now does the fastest lap of 154.8. But he is under pressure there from Alex Cooper. There is absolutely no doubt about it.
Yeah, he is. He's still under heavy fire.
Oh,
Hoekstra's gone wide.
Sideways.
Yeah, absolutely right. He's gone wide going through turn 1. He's oversteered and it's allowed Parker back through. And this has actually allowed Pedro Melham to close. And he is in the Simic car. I got that wrong before. I thought there was no Simics in there. But Simic is racing with Pedro Melham. And he's up behind Hoekstra now, as Tom Parker goes back into 3rd place. And Alex Cooper has closed on Hardwick. But again, not enough to get by just yet. So we have Hoekstra now defending from Pedro Melham, with Scott Beresford is in 6th position, not too far back with Jason Muscat in 7th place. Gary Leonard is in 8th with Happy Allington, who had that spin early on. He's down in 9th now, and Scott Sovic is in 10th position. Now this is the laps where the it looks like Pedro Melham's had a moment there. He has indeed. Beresford's gone through, and so has Muscat. So I think Melham had a moment on the inside of turn 6 there. It allowed Beresford and Muscat to go through and release Wopke Hoekstra. But yeah, I think these drivers now are starting to battle with the tyres in particular. As Oscar Hardwick goes a little bit wide once again, it's given Alex Cooper a bit of a run. Alex Cooper's currently 3/10 up on his own time, which will probably give him his personal best of the race. I don't think it's the overall. Oh, Hardwick's gone well wide at turn 11, gone right out over the grass, and the AstroTurf come back on. Was able to save it. Luckily, there was no. It wasn't too slippery out there, and he's got it all sorted out. Hardwick goes late into 12, but holds the corner this time, holds the apex. Beautifully done to defend that line, and Alex Cooper still pressuring him. But Hardwick having a couple of big moments here, and it's times now that Alex Cooper needs to pounce before Oscar Hardwick gets settled into a rhythm.
Yeah, Hardwick seem to be getting used to the open wheel cars with the Super Cup, considering they've not driven these in quite a while. Good save though, obviously to get it back on track, and I think he was quite lucky to keep the speed. To do that through the high speed section, that he kept the speed and kept in front. But Alex Cooper is still just always on that rear wing. He will never shift from it. Well, at least he hasn't so far. It doesn't look like he's letting go at the moment, and I think Alex Cooper is he's wanting that win. He wants it more than anything at the moment on this track. So Alex Cooper going very, very strong, just keeping Oscar Hardwick under pressure. One thing I'm just going to point out is that throughout the grid that we've got at the moment, it seems like there are just little groups. You've got the group down between 6th place and 9th place between Muscat and Gary Lennon, with Mellim and Allington in between. They're not separated by very much at all. Then you've got another group with Jordan Weeks, who's just kind of pulled away from that group. But there's Matt Clipp, Watkins, Sovic, and DeConnick, I believe, is in that group as well. I think someone's slowing down. I just have to look at that. I think that was Sovic, who slowed just a little bit coming out of turn 7 there. But we've just got all of these little groups building up throughout the grid. So everyone's battling someone. It's a really beautiful thing to see.
They are battling quite heavily now towards the front again. Alex Cooper closing on Oscar Hardwick for the race lead, but again it's not going to be close enough into the braking zone of turn 12. Hardwick's got that one sorted out under brakes again. Oh, again, very, very deep though. But gets it cut back, he squares that corner off. As soon as he locks up, he immediately looks to square the corner off and keep the speed, and he does it very, very effectively, and it's keeping Alex Cooper behind at the moment. Tom Parker has fallen to 3.2 seconds behind Cooper and Hardwick now, and Hoekstra is just 1.4 behind after his slight moment through turn 1 a couple of laps ago, but he's still keeping Parker pretty honest there. And a good run at the moment for Scott Beresford. He's in 5th position, and Jason Muscat has come under fire from his teammate, in fact, Matthew Allington has come back at Muscat now. It looks like he's ready to pounce, and Pedro Mellim, after his moment, also has closed back in and is towing Gary Lennon along with him. Going up towards turn 4 now, and it looks like on the inside will go Allington. No, Muscat holds on.
Yeah, Mellim tried to make a move of Muscat, but it kind of went wrong coming into turn 12, and that allowed Allington to get past into the final corner. But this is one of the examples that I said earlier. This is just a small group that's keeping close together. No one really getting away. It's like a satellite in orbit. It just cannot escape. But here we go. Is this Allington getting through Muscat? Yes, it is, through up into turn 7. So good stuff there between those two. Was that Mellim just having a little bit of contact there?
I think Mellim's just had a slight contact. Muscat's come back at Allington as well, going through the triple apex turn 8. He's come back at him. Allington's running a little bit wide, and it's like Muscat up the inside, and he does. He takes that position back. And off the track, in fact, goes Allington. And Gary Lennon's carried plenty of speed behind Pedro Mellim as well, going down into turn 9. Late on the brakes, and Gary Lennon's gone up the inside of Mellim, has he? He has indeed. But looks like Pedro Mellim's come back at him. He has indeed, and he's held that position. Muscat stays in front of Allington. And the race lead is still Oscar Hardwick from Alex Cooper. Nothing splitting those two at the moment, as Parker trying to close that gap along with Hoekstra. But it's game on at the moment. Allington closing on Muscat. Pedro Mellim and Gary Lennon going side by side again. Oh, way too deep for Pedro Mellim. Oh, no, he smashed straight into Allington there.
Yeah, a bit of forceful contact there, but Mellim did look to go a little bit late. I'm just going to have a little look at that myself. Shame there for Mellim. He was going stronger earlier on in the race when he was in 5th place. Then he dropped back. But he still had this group to battle with. And here we are with Oscar Hardwick and Alex Cooper. They're going side by side coming up into turn 3. Hardwick still has the advantage, though. I think Hardwick is faster.
We got Gary Lennon, Jason Muscat, Pedro Mellim. They've spun down in turn 1. Muscat's now got a front right puncher and towing around. Weeks is now caught up to these guys as well. Allington's gone backwards. Muscat spun actually at the top of the hill, going towards turn 4 and 5, because that punch is obviously affects him quite heavily now. Lennon has gone through into 9th, Allington's 8th, Weeks is 7th, and Pedro into 6th, so a big moment going through turn 1 there.
Yeah, just one mistake from someone going through turn 1 and it can collect quite a number of people, as we have just seen. A bit unfortunate there for a couple of those drivers, getting caught up in a mistake that wasn't really their own, but there's only really one line through turn 1 and turn 2, and they were unfortunate to be collected by that mistake.
They were indeed, so it's been a bit of a shuffle here now. So at the front of the field, we've still got Hardwick from Cooper, split by just 0.2 of a second going through turn 11. 3 seconds further back is Tom Parker with Wopke Hitchtree in 4th. Beresford 5th. Now there's the change with Pedro Mellem into 6th place. Jordan Weeks is now 7th. Oh no, Mellem's now made a half spin going through 9, and Weeks has gone through. And so's Allington come back. So Jordan Weeks is now up into 6th place. Incredible few corners here. Mellem's had a moment. Allington's through. Mellem now drops down into 8th position with Gary Lennon in 9th and closing in on Mellem with Matt Clip in 10th.
Yeah, he took the words right out of my mouth. Mellem is not going. He just has the pace down that straight to keep Gary Lennon at bay.
Sorry, game on for the race lead at turn 1. Alex Cooper's going up the inside of Oscar Hardwick. And again, Hardwick goes later and runs a little bit wider over the exit of turn 1-2. And he's held on to the race lead, but there was side-by-side going to turn 1 there.
Yeah, Cooper, I think Cooper's got more pace than it. I think both drivers have more pace than this. It's just they're being held up, and Hardwick's made a couple mistakes. He seemed to have gotten those mistakes out of his system now. He's gotten used to the car again, used to the car in a race situation. He's keeping Cooper at bay, but to be fair, only just. Cooper is going really quickly at the moment, and I wonder when he will make a move, if he will make a move over the next 6 laps that will stick.
Well, in terms of championship, this is what Alex Cooper really wants. He wants to get past that milk racing car of Oscar Hardwick's to try and make a dent into that title run that Oscar Hardwick's currently on at the moment, that 22-point advantage. And again, he's taking that lower line through turn 8, that low line through the apex of turn 8. Oscar Hardwick took the high, almost open wheeler line through turn 8 there and got wide on the exit of 8 as well. But he's got it all sorted out going through 9, and he's actually pulled a slight gap of 0.4. That's worked out quite nicely for Oscar Hardwick through there, getting it all sorted out as Tom Parker is now 3.2 further back down the road. So he's lost 0.2 to these guys, but he's still keeping them pretty honest, and the lap times are fairly even as well. 155.9 for Parker and a 155.8 for Alex Cooper, and a 55.3 for Oscar Hardwick. So Hardwick's the quickest man out there currently, but again, Cooper in the final sector closes in on Hardwick quite a lot.
Yeah, it's just this is things with setup and personal driver style. Cooper may be running like a lower, maybe a lower rear wing or things like that, that makes him faster through this straight that we can see on screen now. This is Matt Clip going side by side with, let's have a look, this is Gary Lennon he's going side by side with. And he actually gets the move done, but he's going to be on the outside coming through turn 13. He's going to be on the inside coming through turn 14. But Gary Lennon, there's a little bit too much contact between the two of them there, and that costs both of them a considerable amount of time. Yeah,
Matt Clip very courteous and letting Gary Lennon continue with that position, so give that position back after that semi sort of half spin. But Lennon now in 9th with Matt Clip in 10th. Pedro Mellem is 8th, Allington 7th, Jordan Weeks up into 6th. Beresford still in that 5th place, been there all race long, with Hoekstra in 4th and Parker in 3rd. The battle between the championship protagonists, Hardwick and Cooper, still on. Going through that low line again is Alex Cooper through turn 8 while Hardwick goes higher. And a bit of oversteer there, in fact, there for Hardwick going through 8, but got a nice exit. Yeah, very, very nice exit. Running wide again, though. He's got to watch out. That's a little bit too wide. The stewards may have a look at that after the race if he starts going too wide through the exit of 8. But it's enough at the moment that he's able to just about hold on to that position. And Cooper has fallen to 0.4 behind. We've already seen that's not enough. So that's too far back to close in on Hardwick, even with a slipstream.
Yeah, I mean, Cooper, if he's going for the championship, which, obviously you must be. As I said before, every single point matters, and this is 5 points here. If Oscar Hardwick wins, he gets an extra 25 points for his championship. Alex Cooper will gain 20 for sitting in second place. So that's a sizable margin. It's not as sizable as it is in Formula One, where you've got 7 points between P1 and P2. But still, every point matters, and those 5 points could be absolutely crucial in only 5 rounds' time. So getting that move done, getting that move sorted is 100% crucial for his championship charge at the moment.
It looks like Hardwick's starting to really settle down now as well. He's pulled to half a second in front of Cooper. Cooper needs to get this move done fairly soon, because we're on lap 9 now. So Oscar Hardwick is really starting to edge that gap out. In fact, now he's up to 6/10 just going through set 1, 7/10. So perhaps the pushing that Alex Cooper's been doing has actually hurt his tyres too much, and now he's got nothing left to battle Oscar Hardwick with.
Yeah, tyre wear, as we said before, is kind of crucial at this circuit. Wondering, when to push. When to push is extremely important. If you push too early and you don't get the move done, as is what seems to be the case with Alex Cooper. I mean, he may still have quite a lot of tyre life left, but if you push too early and you can't get a move done, then that could cost you quite a bit later on in the race. As we are approaching the final part of the race, I think we're going to see now who's done what with their tyres, who's put too much pressure early on in the race. Has Oscar Hardwick put just enough pressure in the tyre to make sure that he can keep his pace up for the last 4 laps? It's always interesting to see which driver has low tyre degradation. Things like setup, things like driver style, they all come into this large circle of what can go wrong in a race. In Hardwick's case at the moment, what can go right? I mean, he's in the lead now by half a second. Alex Cooper is in the sector that he's stronger in at the moment, which is sector 3. We've already pointed that out. We've already established that. These two, though, they have been stuck together for the entirety of the race. And can Alex Cooper now make that move? He's had chances before. Will he get another one before the race is over?
Oh, he will indeed, because Hardwick's gone late into turn 1. He's got it cut back just in time, though. But Hardwick went very, very late in turn 1. It's allowed Cooper to close again. He's right up behind him. And Hardwick had a big moment because he got it sorted out, just about to hold on to the race lead. And Cooper is there ready to pounce once again. He's very, very close to him. Where's Tom Parker in all this? He's 2.5 seconds further on back down the road, and Hookster's fallen a little bit further off as well, unfortunately, now. But it's game on between Hardwick and Cooper, and at 2.8 seconds, Tom Parker can see this battle unfolding at the same time as well.
Yeah, I mean, again, that was another opportunity for Alex Cooper, but he doesn't seem to have the car to take advantage of that opportunity. That's not saying anything against his car or anything against Sepp or anything against his driving style. It's not been quite right. As you see, this is what you were saying about earlier with the different lines through turn 8. I don't know which one's the fastest, as they both kind of ran wide in the exit there. I would state at the moment that Oscar Hardwick's line through turn 8 probably gives him more of a benefit going down that straight, and I don't know if Alex Cooper has got the pace going down that straight into turn 9 to actually make a move there. But nevertheless, I'm welcome to be proven wrong. Can Alex Cooper still make that move? Oscar Hardwick needs to be focusing at the moment on not making another mistake.
That high line seems to be working there for Oscar Hardwick down towards turn 9. It's enough to defend that position from Alex Cooper. Even though on entry through turn 8 carries a little bit more speed and momentum, Hardwick gets on exit, and that is crucial in these cars, is to make sure you get that exit right. You got to carry, it's all about momentum driving with these types of cars. You got to carry the momentum through the corners and get on the exit and on the power as early as you possibly can. And Hardwick making the oversteer moments going through turn 1, as he has been. Now it's Alex Cooper's turn to make a mistake going through turn 1. He's gone very, very wide. It's back out to half a second again now. He went right off over the curbing at turn 1 and over the AstroTurf, and it's allowed Oscar Hardwick some breathing space with just 2 to go.
Yeah, I mean, I just think Oscar Hardwick needs to be focusing now on not making any mistakes, as has been said before. Alex Cooper, I think Alex Cooper's driven a really brilliant race so far. He's just not been able to. He's not been given the right opportunity to make that move. He's not had the right things put in place. At the moment, it does look like Oscar Hardwick will be taking the win. However, in motorsport, with 2 laps to go, absolutely anything can happen.
Yeah, you're right there. And Tom Parker, he's now at 3.2 seconds. Again, these guys are really battling their cars going through turn 8. They're wobbling side to side as they're struggling for grip now. As Parker comes through, he's in 3rd place. Hoekstra's in 4th. Beresford is still in his 5th place where he's been all race long. Jordan Weeks in 6th. These guys are all spread out now as well by quite healthy margins. Allington is 7th. Pedro Mellum in 8th position with Gary Lennon in 9th. Matt Clipp is 10th. Oh, Dave Stanton is right up behind him. Oh, he's nudged him, in fact. He nudged the back of Matt Clipp's car, but he's been very courteous. He's let him go back by. He has indeed. We then got Paul Watkins in 12th, Scott Sovic in 13th, with Paul Joseph in 14th. Nico DeConnick is in 15th, with Miles Dixon in 16th. Jason Muscat is 17th, with Chris Williamson in 18th place. So we come through again. It's Hardwick holding on. It's out to 7/10 now. This is working for Hardwick. As we cross the line to start the final lap of the race between Hardwick and Cooper. 7/10 is a good margin for Hardwick at the moment. It's exactly what he needs. And they've both got through turn 1 relatively cleanly, and the gap stayed exactly the same. So Hardwick just needs to hold on. And the consistency is built up for Hardwick now. It's working nicely for him. Later into the race. Oh, I say that. He's gone a little bit deep through 3. He got it sorted out, though. He's lost to 10th, and Cooper has closed on him. Hardwick is just about holding on. They've got a back marker further back down the road. That's Chris Williamson, not too far away. Hopefully he won't get too involved with these two guys. Hardwick and Cooper split now by 8/10. I think Cooper's tyres are pretty much shot, as Hardwick is just trying to hold on.
Yeah, I'd agree with you on Alex Cooper. It looks like he may have blown his tyre. Well, blown tyres, but the pace in the tyres may have gone. We said that tyre wear coming into this race would probably be pretty high, and with track temperatures in some of the corners, especially turn 8, the one that we've just seen, Oscar Hardwick run wide again coming out of turn 8. The tyre wear goes, it's pretty quick. They degrade pretty quickly, and it may seem like Alex Cooper's been pushing a little too hard earlier on in the race, something that we thought might have happened. So I think Cooper's tyres probably have dropped off just a little bit too much.
Yeah, I agree with you there, but it looks like it might be enough for Hardwick though still. 6/10 of the gap. They passed Jason Muscat there, who has had a bit of a difficult race towards the end. Yellow flag out in sector 3 again here as well, as Hardwick goes late on the brakes, coming into the final few corners. And this is exactly what Oscar Hardwick needed for his championship to extend his lead. Miles Dixon's just off to the right-hand side there. He comes across, though. It's Oscar Hardwick wins race 1 in Istanbul. Great win there for Oscar Hardwick. And Alex Cooper comes across in 2nd place. Tom Parker on the podium in 3rd. Good drive from him. And we'll have Wopke Hoekstra coming across in 4th place momentarily. Oh, he spun, in fact, right at the final corner. Get going again. Where's Beresford? Can Beresford grab this? No, not quite. Hoekstra will get that. He does indeed. So Hoekstra is 4th. Beresford is 5th. Jordan Week is going to come across in 6th position. We then have Matthew Allington. He's going to come across in 7th place. And Pedro Mellum, for something, will come across in 8th place. With Gary Lennon in 9th. Matt Clipp did hold on, and he's going to come across in 10th. Just come out the final corner now. Has Matt Clipp crosses the line. We then have Paul Watkins. He come across in 11th place. Scott Sovic in 12th, with Paul Joseph in 14th. Nico DeConnick was in 14th, and Dave Stanton looked to have retired there on the last lap.
That's some interesting stuff. Let's have a look. Yeah, it does seem like if someone's run out of fuel, is Stanton. According to our factor, it seems like Stanton's run out of fuel, and that may have been his issue. Muscat, Dixon, and Williamson all finished lap down. And as to the championship, Hardwick there gaining 25 points, which now moves him up to 168. So, he's on a pretty good, lead at the moment. The gap was 22 points and has now been extended by 5, so it's 27 points. So no matter what happens in the next race, Oscar Hardwick will leave Istanbul with the championship lead. At the end of that race, we'll be halfway through the season. And it's just looking at that as to what tracks. I think Alex Cooper now needs to be focusing on what tracks is he good at. So what tracks if you're bad at a track, I think sometimes it helps more if you focus more on that track, getting the setup right for that track. I know Turkey seems to be a track that a lot of drivers favour, and it's just an interesting concept to see where drivers want to go faster. Where, if you like a track, you tend to go faster at it. That's what I'm trying to say.
Attention grid, will all non-essential personnel leave the grid
Get
now.
ready now for the second reverse race momentarily. Hopefully we'll find out in a moment what the reverse grid pole position is. So just give it a moment here and we'll be back with you shortly. Okay, you rejoin us here, just with 5 minutes left of the warm-up session, ready for race 2. The magic number was 18 for the reverse grid, and that has put Chris Williamson on pole position for grid 2. The full rundown, I'll quickly run through before we start, and we'll go through it once again as well. So it's Chris Williamson from Miles Dixon, Jason Muscat, Dave Stanton, Nico DeConnick, Paul Joseph, Scott Sovic, Paul Watkins, Matt Clipp, Gary Lennon, Pedro Mellon, Matthew Allington, Jordan Weeks, Scott Beresford, who held that 5th place for the entire race, did a great job there. Whoop Kirkstra, Tom Parker, Alex Cooper, Oscar Hardwick, Glenn Guest, and John Watkins. That will be the reverse grid for the second race of 13 laps here today, Lewis.
Yep, should be an interesting grid. We always like it when you get the grid just spiced up a little bit. So the faster car, the fast drivers sometimes further back. They've got to work harder to move through the field. It can create some very interesting duels. Race 2, as has been seen in Formula Challenge, and even if you look in the real world, even some GP2, GP3 stuff like that. When they have the reverse grid, or when the grid's spiced up, even in BTCC, it's just some interesting racing. You always get. It's always spiced up a bit because you've got slower cars at the front, you've got faster cars at the back. It just moves it all around, gives it a lot more of a flow. And race 2 can sometimes be a lot more exciting than what race 1 is. And I love it. I think it's great. It's a great idea.
Yeah, it is a good idea, and the Formula Challenge in particular benefit quite heavily from it. And it looks like the World Series guys also benefit from it, and World Sports Series. World Series, not baseball. But yeah, these guys look like they enjoy it, and Wopke Hoekstra seems to be a particular fan of this format after taking his win last time out and also going quite well in Formula Challenge. So we'll look to see if he comes through the field. But the spiced up grid should create some great overtaking, I suspect, to see where those guys that were at the front of the field, the Hardwicks, Coopers, Parkers and Hoekstras, see how far they can actually progress through the field. And it's Chris Williamson that has taken that pole position though for race 2.
Yeah, I mean, even in race 2, one thing to point out would be that Oscar Hardwick and Alex Cooper have scored, and even, Tom Parker, I can't be leaving him out as well. The 3 of them have scored points in every single race of the season so far. So they're all looking pretty strong at the moment, and they finished 1, 2, 3, so they finished championship order in the race just a little bit earlier on. And so looking at that, consistency means that they will score a point. And Alex Cooper he fought into second place in Monaco, and then he was in second place in race 2 as well, and that was at Monaco. Okay, now Monaco you cannot overtake. It's pretty much impossible to overtake, and yet he still did it. So coming here, you've got quite a few sections where it's possible. I mean, he struggled to get past Hardwick last time out, but unless Oscar Hardwick gets past him at the start, which, let's be honest, is possible. There's no doubt about it. Oscar Hardwick sometimes has some pretty good starts. But Alex Cooper, if he can keep in front of him, he's got, cars that were behind him in race 1. And, he's got cars that he is obviously faster than, arguably in a race situation when you're trying to overtake. But still, he's got to have that confidence of, I finished second place for the 3rd time in a row. Can I make it 4 times in a row? Can I even challenge for a win? I think, scoring points, as has been said, consistency is key. Always in a championship situation, consistency is key. We've seen this across many different leagues of sim racing, many different forms of real-world motorsport. And I think that's got to be, in Alex Cooper's mind, that has got to be the thing, is that he needs to pass as many people as possible. He needs to be essentially the highest climber, as it would be. He needs to get past pretty much everyone on the grid and be fighting for a podium position if he wants to keep that, that championship alive. There's a lot of points on the table, so a lot of points, up for grabs that he can take to close that gap on Oscar Hardwick.
Yeah, and this is when he needs to do it as well. Now, this is the prime time for Cooper and Parker, and even Jordan Weeks. If Jordan Weeks progresses up through the ranking in this race, then he'll probably take Pedicassa for 4th place in the championship. So, a bit of promise there for Jordan Weeks also. And it's a great battle for midnight against Milk Racing also. when it comes to the team championship.
Attention grid, all non-essential personnel leave the grid now.
Okay, we're getting ready for the race now. The drivers have just gone through their warm-up, and we will be ready for race 2 around this Istanbul circuit. This beautiful Istanbul circuit. Very, very challenging, as we've already mentioned, and these drivers will be faced with an even more difficult challenge for the guys, the so-called quicker guys, if you like, as they've got to carve their way through quite a bit of traffic to progress their way through and get those maximum points that are required for their championship. So it's going to be Hardwick, Cooper, Parker, and it looks like Watke Hoekstra trying to battle their way through, and we'll give you a rundown in just a moment.
Yep, Chris Williamson. He was another driver that I did bring up. He's completed every single lap of the season so far, and he scored his first points, and 3 points in fact, last time out in Monaco. And so, looking here, he's starting from P1. And if you've not scored too many points throughout the season, that could be quite a scary and daunting thought. And I'm just wondering if he has the pace to score more points today. If he has the pace to just defend as hard as possible over the next 13 laps and not do things like that, which is run wide at turn 4. He just needs to keep it all together and keep focused. I think one of the hardest things for a driver in that situation is not bowing down to the pressure of 20 very fast Porsches behind you.
You're absolutely right, and I think the drivers... Wow, who's that? That's Miles Dixon just having a massive moment as well on this. This is only a warm-up lap, by the way, guys. You know, you don't need to be starting doing any of that sort of stuff. You're only warming your tyres up going through turn 7 there, so Dixon's had a moment, and so is Williamson. So the front row already having a bit of a moment with Jason Muscat just behind. So I'll give you a rundown. It's Chris Williamson on pole position. Miles Dixon is in 2nd place. Jason Muscat 3rd with Dave Stanton in 4th position. Nico DeConnick in 5th with Paul Joseph in 6th. Scott Sovic is 7th. Paul Watkins 8th. Matt Clipp 9th. And Gary Lennon in 10th. Lewis, I will let you do the second half of the grid.
So, 11th place is Pedro Malim, followed by Matthew Allington. Scott Beresford's in 13th. Watke Hoekstra is in 14th. Tom Parker's in 15th. Alex Cooper, who we were talking about a bit earlier on, got 2nd place in the first race. Hopefully trying to repeat some, getting some more points. He lines up in 16th. Oscar Hardwick in 17th. Glenn Guest lines up 18th. John Watkins in 19th. And let's have a look. Is there anyone else? I believe that's it then. We have 19
looks like
cars.
We're missing one driver, I believe, because we had 20 before, so we lost one. But the drivers will probably be a little bit happier as well, because it's ambient temperature of 21, track of 33. So a little bit cooler than race 1, and they might actually be able to save their tyres a little more, so going through that turn 8 as well. So that could help. Probably Alex Cooper, due to looks like he got more tyre wear than what Oscar Hardwick did. So we will see, though, as these drivers now line up on the grid. Nico DeConnick had a big moment nearly behind Jason Muscat. Yeah, just reversed back into his grid spot. I thought he was a bit too far forwards there. But nevertheless, we are ready nearly for race number 2 here in Istanbul. And we are indeed. Here we go. 1 light, 2 light, 3, 4, 5, and race 2. Oh, he's go. Oh, Chris Williamson jumped the start there. It's a jump start. And so did Jason Muscat, in fact. Williamson and Muscat have both jumped the start there, which is going to give net lead to Miles Dixon. He's in 3rd. Nico DeConnick's in 4th. Scott Sovic's 5th.
Huge contact.
Parker is up to 8th, but he's got a stop-go penalty for I'm not sure what there, unfortunately. But Tom Parker's got a stop-go penalty, not a drive-through, but a stop-go. So Parker's got a stop-go. Oh, Allington spun right in front of him. Melim's gone by into 7th. Where's Alex Cooper? Alex Cooper's also got a stop-go. What's going on here? Stop-go penalty for Alex Cooper is showing up for me also. So is Parker, and it looks like this is going to work out nicely for Hardwick, who appears to have no penalty, and is currently in 11th.
Yeah, there was some pretty harsh contact. It looked like as they were coming through the first corner. I saw one of the Midnight Motorsports take quite a hit. I wasn't sure which one it was. I think at the moment it could have been Alex Cooper, as he's behind Tom Parker, and I thought it would have cost him quite a bit of time. But there was some pretty hefty contact though.
Yeah, change of race lead as well. Muscat's now gone through into lead. Williamson's gone backwards. He's now down to 6th place. Jason Muscat leads the way from... Oh, a big moment in turn 9 though for Muscat. Miles Dixon is the man in 2nd and looks like he's about to take the race lead from Jason Muscat. If he gets a run here from turn 10 towards turn 11, the kink of turn 11, he's getting very, very close to him. He's pulled out of the slipstream very early there as Miles Dixon. He needs to stay underneath that rear wing and dart out as late as he possibly can. He's moving across now. That's better. Dixon going up the inside, going to turn 12. Will he take the race lead? Very, very late on the brakes. Can he get it stopped? He can get it stopped. He has taken the race lead. Great job there from Miles Dixon, as Jason Muscat is in 2nd place, with Scott Sovic just behind in 3rd, ready to pounce. Nico DeConnick's 4th. Dave Stanton is in 5th place, and Tom Parker is in 6th. Oscar Hardwick now 7th. Pedro Mellum is 8th, and Alex Cooper 9th. Watke Hoekstra 10th. So those 4 protagonists are already inside the top 10.
Yeah, there was a mess of cars coming down to turn 12, so it was all extremely close.
Very, very close. Williamson has served his drive-through penalty and has come back out pit lane now. And incredibly, he's not last. It's Allington that's last, so he's had a moment. But Chris Williamson has served that drive-through and he's come out into a good bit of air. Oh, Dave Stanton's had a moment with Gary Lennon by the looks of it. So Stanton's gone backwards. There's a scrap now with Mellum in the middle of the field. 9th, 10th and 11th, this is over. Tom Parker's stop go's now been removed, and so's Alex Cooper's. Looks like there's maybe a glitch at the start there that's caused those. So yeah, I'm not too sure what caused that, but yeah, I believe it was a glitch. So those guys have had theirs removed. So Parker is net in front of Oscar Hardwick, and Cooper is just behind. Cooper's just behind Oscar Hardwick. So it's midnight, Milk Racing midnight. Hoekstra is the man in 8th. With Pedro Mellum, he is in 9th. Glenn Guest is 10th. And the battle in front of these guys is Connick is in 4th. Muscat's got a drive-through penalty still yet to serve for jumping the start, I believe. And we're going to go side by side between Dixon and Sovic for the race lead. He going through to 11. Okay, I've just been informed by Dave Crossmith, Race Direction, and the cameraman. Thank you very much, Dave. They went wide. Both Midnights went wide at turn 1 to avoid an incident that happened, and that was the reasoning behind their stop-go. And race steward Dave Crossmith has relieved them of those penalties because it was avoiding an incident. As Dixon goes very, very deep at the final corner, and Scott Sovic's gone through to take the race lead. That's a great final corner there for Sovic. Scott Sovic goes to the race lead. Mars Dixon comes back at him into turn 1, very late on the brakes. He goes deep, nudges Sovic in fact. Dixon gets it. Muscat's still got to serve a drive-through. That's for a jump start. He will have to serve that penalty. Muscat's in 3rd. Nico DeConnick is ready to pounce on these 3 drivers. And Tom Parker, Oscar Hardwick, and Alex Cooper are already there. They're already up to top 4 positions. And here comes Tom Parker on the inside of DeConnick, but he can't get the job done yet.
Yeah, Dixon maybe having a good race for Slipstream so far, but Glenn Guest going very sideways coming out of turn 1, lost a heap of positions, as did Pedro Mellum. I saw him go pretty sideways coming out of the final corner, as we have another battle going on with Scott Sovic moving up into 2nd place. I think a couple of cars running wide there.
Yeah, Tom Parker, it's allowed Oscar Hardwick to go through. It's allowed him to go up into 5th place. So the Milk Racing car goes into 5th, and it's Parker from Cooper. But yeah, it's Hardwick's through, and it's going to be chasing down Nico DeConnick now. Muscat's run wide, still got to serve that drive-through, remember, as Parker closes in. And who's on the back of it? It's Watke Hoekstra. He's the man in 8th place. So the top 8 are all together. It's then 2.9 seconds back to John Watkins.
Yep, just a mess of cars at the moment, and who can take advantage of it most of all? This will be very interesting coming into turn 12. Who will be the last of the late breakers?
Oh, it's game on. It is game on for sure. Sovic and Dixon look to be clear, but Muscat is on Connick, and he's going to go to the inside as he is, and Oscar Hardwick's going to capitalise also and go up into 4th. He does. Muscat's gone deep. Oh, big moment for Sovic. Oh, hit there from Hardwick on Muscat also. Oh, Hardwick spun. He spun. He's got it back though. Parker goes through. Hoekstra goes through. Cooper goes through. Very firm move there from Cooper to make sure that happens. Muscat's pitched the service drive-through penalty. So it's all shaking out. Race lead, Miles Dixon. 2nd place, Scott Sovic. Tom Parker's 3rd. Watke Hoekstra is in 4th place. Alex Cooper is in 5th. Oscar Hardwick is in 6th. John Watkins is closer in 2.6 down to 1.5. He's in 7th. Pedro Mellum is in 8th. Incredible few corners there.
Yeah, from the replay we just saw, it did seem from my angle that Hardwick may have had a little bit of assistance with the half spin there, but excellent car control meant that he kept it all together and, you know, got it back facing the right way. I think out of all of the mistakes that Hardwick's made today, some not being his fault, some arguably so, he has an excellent car control about getting it back together without losing as much time. He is now behind Alex Cooper, I'm sure will be defending pretty hard against Hardwick to maintain the points advantage at the moment.
Hoekstra got a big slash of oversteer there going through turn 7. He's got it sorted though, but it's side by side with Cooper going through the final part of turn 8. Oh yeah, he had to really lift out the throttle because they were going wide. And that's giving Oscar Hardwick the run coming down towards turn 9. Cooper needs to be wise there. He needs to set that up for turn 9 and not the exit of turn 8 because it allowed Hardwick through. Oh, Hook's just spun right in front of the pair of them. Both did get away with it though. Hardwick has got by. And so it's Cooper. John Watkins is going to have a run on Cooper though because he's been slow off turn 9. Pedro Mellum's not too far back. Hook's just gone back to
Sovic with Dixon. They go side by side coming down to turn 12.
They are indeed. It's Sovic and Dixon. Sovic's going to go around the outside, is he, of Dixon? No, because up the inside comes Dixon, and he's got it. He's held that position. And look who's there. It's Tom Parker, ready to pounce, looking to want to take a race victory potentially here. Parker's all over the back of Sovic now. They've got a 2.1 second gap over Oscar Hardwick, who's progressed up. Alex Cooper in 5th place with Watkins in 6th. Mellum 7th. Hoekstra now needs to fight his way back as he's now down into 8th place.
This hard
Dixon's gone wide.
Though.
Dixon's gone wide at turn 1. This is giving Sovic the run. Scott Sovic takes the race lead. He went very deep in turn 1, Miles Dixon, and it's allowed Sovic to go through. What's Tom Parker going to do? He's been squeezed right up against the curbing in turn 3, and Dixon has held 2nd place, but he was squeezed right the way up against the curbing there. And it's now Parker needs to make a move. Dixon gone taking a lot of curb there through 6. As Parker closes, and look, we try and break around the outside of 7. Can he break around the outside of 7? He does break around the outside of 7, does Tom Parker. An awesome move. If he gets on the power, he's got the job done. Brilliant move there from Tom Parker around the outside of turn 7.
Yeah, inside moves are easier than outside, but outsides do, I think, look a bit cooler sometimes. That was a very good move there from Parker to get him up into 2nd place. He's going to be really on the rear wing now of Sovic. That was Dixon going very wide in the exit of turn 8. He's now going to be prey there for Oscar Hardwick, who doesn't quite get the advantage that I might have thought, but still, it does look like some of these cars may be struggling already. But this is what I was going to say earlier, was that...
Oh, here we go. Sorry, Oscar Hardwick's got 3rd place. Dixon's had a moment. It's allowed Oscar Hardwick through, and he's into 3rd place as Tom Parker closes in on Scott Sovic, but up to 3rd place goes Oscar Hardwick. Tom Parker, if I remember correctly as well, he's got a brand new wheel today, is Tom Parker, I believe. So on a new wheel, Parker is closing on Sovic, trying to take the race lead on a brand new wheel. So good job, Tom Parker. He's closed on Sovic. Oscar Hardwick's the man on the move though at the moment. Oh, Alex Cooper's got by Dixon as well. He's closed the gap. So Cooper is now into 4th place. Dixon's down to 5th. Fastest up there from Alex Cooper as well, a 54.9.
Good stuff there from Alex Cooper.
Sovic's gone wide. Sovic's gone wide. He has indeed. Sovic went wide in turn 1. Tom Parker's gone through to the race lead. Tom Parker leads here in Istanbul. Sovic's dropped to 2nd place after going wide in turn 1. A lot of drivers making a mistake in turn 1. Parker now goes deep in 3. Sovic half spins the car. And look who's behind him. It's Oscar Hardwick ready to pounce.
Yeah, as we said, points is everything. This group holds the most points. You know, this is 25 all the way down to about, what would this be? I'm going to say this is going to be 25 points between, probably going down to about 9 points, is this group here at the moment. They're quite spread out as this group, but Hardwick needs to get past. This is all about 4 points at the moment. This is the 4, you know, there will be more points over Alex Cooper. And I think Alex Cooper at the moment here at Istanbul Park is just dropping away on the from a championship standpoint. He's just dropping away ever so slightly. Great stuff from Tom Parker to take the lead, and let's hope he can just stay there, no mistakes. You know, we've seen a lot of them so far. We've seen a lot of them in race 1, and I just hope that this is going to edge them all out of the system. These cars are quite hard to drive.
Yeah, Tom Parker, he needs to make a gap now, ideally, so that the guys behind chasing him down, Oscar Hardwick and Alex Cooper, because he's still got Scott Sovic in the middle, and looks like Sovic's going to get past here on the inside, is he, from Hardwick? Yes! Beautiful late lunge, but Sovic comes back at him. Does he hold the position? He does hold the position, but now cuts across Oscar Hardwick for a move there in the final corner, and he's through into second place. He's now got 1.4 seconds to make up on Tom Parker. Scott Sovic's coming back at Hardwick though. Is he going towards turn 1? Will he late lunge? No, he doesn't. So Parker race leads. Sovic's not too far behind, and Alex Cooper is the next man.
Who was that in the background?
Oh, it's Miles Dixon. Miles Dixon, yeah.
Yeah, Miles Dixon. Let's have a look. Yeah, we're just going to see a replay on screen for you now. He's coming down the pit straight. I think he must have just lost the rear on turning. Maybe going a bit too fast. We'll just have a look. Turns in, loses the rear, and that's it. He's just a passenger at that point. I think probably carrying a bit too much speed. Let's see how many. He's down into 7th place, so he's not lost too many places, but he does seem to be struggling with the rear of the car from what I can see at the moment. As he spun again! Miles Dixon has spun again. He's lost quite a few places now. He's just basically spun in front of an entire crowd of cars with the Lennon, Hoekstra, Clip, so and Watkins. So back to the race lead. Oscar Hardwick now closing in on that ball. He's going a bit too wide again, is he? I don't think he's going to catch Parker at the moment. We'll just have a look coming into turn 9. Not quite. Parker locking up just a bit there. Sovic's keeping a good pace with this group at the moment. I'm pretty impressed with Sovic.
Yep, Sovic's doing a great job. He's got Alex Cooper right up behind him, but Oscar Hardwick is right behind Tom Parker. And this has got, wow, big wobble there going through turn 11. Huge oversteer moment there for Oscar Hardwick. He's dropped off the back of Tom Parker now. So Parker will live to fight another day and hold that race lead at the moment. Goes deep in 12, but holds on. And Scott Sovic's still in front of Alex Cooper. This is great driving from Scott Sovic. Beautiful driving from him at the moment. As Scott Sovic holds that position from Cooper. As Hardwick again, it's going to be on down into turn 1, is it? He'll get close, but I don't think he'll get close enough. I don't think he can get close enough under braking. No, Parker is the man at the moment. Race leads, runs a little bit wide in 1. Gives Hardwick a run on the exit, but not enough.
Yeah, he's going to have a little bit of a run up the hill, but I still don't think it's going to be enough. Let's just have a look. If no, it's just... Oh, he's lost the back just a little bit. As it's Oscar Hardwick's going to take advantage of this.
He is indeed. He's going to go around the outside. But Tom Parker firmly comes back at him. Good driving. He's come straight back at him, and Hardwick dives up the inside to take that position. And he's got that race lead now, Oscar Hardwick. He's on the inside. Parker's on the outside. We've seen Parker do this once already. He's going to try it again. Oh, can he do it again? That's the question. No, Hardwick comes back at him. He takes the race lead. Slips through. A clean move there from Oscar Hardwick to take the race lead. Parker's in 2nd place. Cooper's now through into 3rd as well. This has worked for Cooper. Parker and Hardwick are still battling, and Cooper is closing through turn 8. Just 6/10 behind race leader Oscar Hardwick. And Scott Sovic's still holding on. Great job here from Scott Sovic.
Yeah, these top 4 cars, it seems like Oscar Hardwick's making a few mistakes. Again, he's just running wide. We've seen him run wide quite a few times out of turn 8. But this is turning into a great evening for Oscar Hardwick's championship. I mean, Alex Cooper is going to lose, if he doesn't get past his teammate, he's going to lose a further 9 points in the championship. That is pretty huge.
Parker's coming at Hardwick. He's pulled out very late in the very early, in the slipstream again. These guys just need to get right behind Hardwick and dive out, but they're not taking that opportune line. Oh, that's unfortunate for Sovic. He's got it sorted out though, by the looks of it. He has indeed. These guys really need to get ballsy behind these cars, but even just give them a bit of a push and dive out at the very, very last moment. They're diving out too early, and they can't make the draft work. Cooper now on Parker going down towards turn 1. Can he get it done? Late on the brakes there for Alex Cooper. Can he get the car stops on the apex? He can get the car stops, and he's gone through. Oh, but Parker it's carried speed and momentum. That worked nicely for Parker. He's gone... Currently, they're shown side by side, coming up towards turn number 4. And Parker, does he hold on? Oh, Hardwick's made a mistake at the top of the hill. And through go both Midnights. Oh, no, nudge! He's been nudged. Sovic slipped through as well. Cooper comes backwards. Oh, that's a horrible moment there for the Midnight boys. Cooper nudged the back of Parker. Oh, is that a puncture for Alex Cooper? Or has he just stopped? Is he slowed down? I think he just slowed down there.
Don't know if he had a. It's going to be pretty interesting for the next few laps.
He's slowed. He's definitely slowed. Just to let Parker back through, because he nudged Parker, which caused the chaos in front, behind. Sorry, with Sovic getting back by. Hardwick's taking the race lead. The 2 Midnights behind are now got a battle back past Scott Sovic, and this is night and day for the Milk Racing car of Oscar Hardwick at the moment, because it's absolutely ideal for him on lap 8.
Yep, even with a couple of mistakes, he's still holding on. Earlier on in the race, I was trying to say this a bit earlier, but hopefully we won't have too much action, just so I can get this point out, is that with all the battling that we've seen earlier on in the race, is that the tyre wear is going to be a lot higher, because they've been trying to make all these moves. They've been pushing 110% for pretty much the entirety of this race. And I'm trying to get this point out as fast as possible, as it looks like Alex Cooper may be trying to make a move now on Scott Sovic. Sorry, it's Tom Parker. It's Tom Parker. My apologies.
No, it's absolutely fine. Parker now slips through. He has taken second place. So Parker takes second place back, and Sovic's battling back. Where's Cooper? 7/10 behind, so he's got a bit of range to close up yet. And Oscar Hardwick now 6/10 advantage. This is nice for Hardwick as they cross the line to start lap 10, coming towards turn number 1.
Oh, it just looks like through turn 1, Tom Parker just didn't. The rear end was not locked in. Didn't look comfortable. It was constantly sliding going through that corner, and Scott Sovic's not going to have to pace up the hill to get past him, but it's just going to show that, you know, the cars in front are not susceptible to making mistakes. There's another little bit of a mistake there from Parker, and Sovic's right on the rear of that car.
He is right on the rear of the Midnight, as Oscar Hardwick has pulled a nice little advantage now. This is what he wants. This is what he wants. It's 8/10. He's cleared the traffic, if you like, because the Midnights of Parker and Cooper are battling Sovic, but Parker... Oh, wow! Oh! Huge moment! Parker ran wide out of turn 7, come back on the track, and he took the nose off of Scott Sovic there. He came straight back across the... Oh, he's done the same to Watkins! He's done the same to Watkins! Parker's had a big moment there. Coming back off from 7 across the track, spearing across the front and nose of Scott Sovic there. Sovic's down to 6th. Mellim's now 5th. Watkins is in 4th and closing on Parker. That's a huge moment though. And it's now released Cooper to try and chase down a 1.4 second lead that Oscar Hardwick has.
I think that's such a shame there for Sovic. Sovic had some really good points in position there for him to take, as I think he's just past Mellim there for 5th place. He's getting this car back on track. That was not his mistake. I think Parker was a bit too harsh on getting back on track there, and it was a bit much, I think, and that's cost Sovic quite a lot. And I think it's just a bit unfortunate to see there. And Poor Sovic, that was some really good points. He's only scored 9 points this season, but so far this race is going to score more points than he has scored so far. Just a bit unfortunate there. Wrong place, wrong time there for Sovic.
Yeah, coming back over the curb, and I think it speared him straight into the side of Sovic there. And that's what's caused that incident for Parker. So Parker's probably absolutely gutted with himself. And he may still cop a penalty at the end of the race for that as well going forward. So that's not ideal for Parker, as the gap between Hardwick and Cooper has stabilised at 1.4 seconds, as Tom Parker is held on to 3rd place. Watkins is 4th, and Sovic is now coming under heavy fire from Simic Racing's Pedro Mellim. Wopke Hoekstra is in 7th place, Gary Lennon is in 8th, Miles Dixon is 9th, and Matt Clipp is in 10th. Paul Watkins is 11th. Scott Beresford, who was Mr. 5th man from first race, is down in 12th. Paul Joseph is 13th. With Glenn Guess in 14th. Dave Stanton's 15th. And Chris Williamson, pole position man for race 2, is in 16th, with Nico DeConnick in 17th place.
Yeah, I mean, we've got, obviously with the fact that points go all the way down to 15th place, we've got quite a lot of drivers now within the points. Chris Williamson has done pretty well to get it back after the penalty he received for jumping the start. Alex Cooper now, the gap between Alex Cooper and Oscar Hardwick apparently on my R Factor is 1.27 seconds. So he's closing it ever so slightly, but he's got 3 laps to close it enough, as this is Matt Clip and Paul Watkins going side by side with Scott Beresford just behind, waiting to pounce. Oh, as he is, he's just coming out, going through turn 11. He's going to have the run up towards turn 12. Let's just have a little look at how this little fight turns out. He's just a bit too far back at the moment. Can he get him under braking? I don't think he can. Oh, there's a couple of them. That's Matt Clip running wide there, but keeps the position. So pretty hard, pretty strong defending there from Matt Clip. Strong but fair. Strong but fair.
Yeah, absolutely. So the order at the front though is still the same between Hardwick and Cooper. It's 1.4 seconds. 7 seconds now backwards to Tom Parker. Watkins 4th, Sovic 5th, Mellon 6th, Hoekstra 7th. They're all split by 1 to 1.5 seconds each gap also. So it's just now settled. And at the moment we have the same podium as we did in race 1.
And in the same order, yeah. Pretty interesting to say that they've come from pretty much near enough the back of the grid. As we said earlier, that race 2 can be extremely exciting and loads of action. It's all fireworks and just cars overtaking, and we've had that for the last 13 laps. It's been a very interesting race 2 so far. I think Oscar Hardwick, if he doesn't make a mistake, Oscar Hardwick is going to have a pretty comfortable lead as he crosses the line, which is going to give him an extra 5 points boost in the championship. So, you know, he's gained quite a bit so far, and this is the first race, I believe, the first round so far in the season where one driver has won both nights, has won both races even.
Well, he's not won yet, but he's on his way to for sure.
Yeah, of course, and as stated earlier, you have no idea what can happen in these 2 laps. Anything can happen. A mistake can be made. Half the grid can go out from some random mistake. We don't know. This is the joy of sim racing. There's so many things that can happen. Oscar Hardwick, though, leading a pretty strong charge now for the race win.
He is indeed. He's just crossed the line as they are starting their final lap of the race. And this has been an absolute dream currently for Oscar Hardwick. He took race 1. He's on to take race 2 at the moment. And Alex Cooper has finished behind him. This will extend the championship points nicely for Oscar Hardwick. As Tom Parker is in 3rd place. Watkins from Sovic, from Mellon, from Hoekstra. Still the same. Lennon, Dixon and Beresford. So as the drivers head up through the infield section, through turn 3, 4, 5, and this at the exit of 6, chasing their way down towards turn 7. That gap is now up to 1.6 seconds for Oscar Hardwick as they close into turn 7 for the triple left apex of the long, infamous turn 8. One of my favourite corners. It's a great corner. Hardwick from Cooper stays the same. That low line initially works for Cooper because he gains time back, but then on exit Hardwick gets it all back, and it's critical once again. And in fact, Hardwick's probably saving his tyre taking that higher line because he doesn't have to doesn't have to use as much turning input coming on the exit, because on the exit he can straighten the wheel faster. He can get the wheel straightened up. He can sort the car out. So Hardwick, that works for Hardwick. And Cooper, I think, has been struggling through there on exit, which has cost him quite a lot of time.
Yeah, well, it's worked for Oscar Hardwick so far this evening. And looks like he's about to take his 2nd win. His 5th win of the season. He's won. If he wins this race, which, he's only got a few corners left, he's going to win half of the races of the season. So great drive there from Oscar Hardwick.
He will indeed, and this is what Milk Racing wanted, coming through the final corner. Nearly drops it, in fact, on the final corner. But Oscar Hardwick comes through to win the 2nd race in Istanbul. Alex Cooper's in 2nd place. Tom Parker, after his big moment, is going to come across in 3rd place for Midnight Motorsport. Comes across in 3rd. John Watkins is going to finish in 4th. Great drive from him. Scott Sovic was unfortunate to finish in 5th, really, but good job still. Hoekstra's in 6th. Mellon's in 7th. And Gary Lennon is going to cross the line in 8th place. Miles Dixon is going to be 9th. Scott Beresford's in 10th. Paul Joseph's 11th. Paul Watkins is in 12th. Matt Clip 13th. Glenn Guest 14th place. Dave Stanton is coming through the final corner now. He's going to be 15th. driving for the line, and the pole position man was Chris Williamson, but he's had a bit of a moment. He's into the final third sector now, and he will come across in 16th.
Yeah, good race though so far. Good race. Interesting. Lots of things going on. Lots of overtaking. Oscar Hardwick doing a great drive. Scott Stovic though, 5th place, could have been 4th without the mistake. Might have been a podium if he could have defended, but he had the pace with those top runners. That is going to give him quite a nice confidence boost going forward. To state that he'd only scored 9 points coming into this. I believe that is correct. Let's just have a quick look. But he'd not scored many points. It is in fact 9 points. He'd only scored 9 points throughout the entirety of the season, and to see that he's got pace to battle it out with the top 4, the top 3 in the championship, and put on a pretty impressive show. I'm glad to see that. It's always nice to see like an underdog fighting with the top load. It's kind of like you just never know what's going to happen. It's very interesting stuff and a great race too.
Okay, well, we'll just take a little bit of a moment here, and hopefully we'll get some of the drivers up from the podium in for an interview. So just bear with us a moment. Okay, well, we are joined by double race winning tonight, an awesome drive as well from Oscar Hardwick. So, firstly, congratulations there, Oscar.
Thank you very much.
And how was the first race we'll start with? So, how was race 1 for you?
Race 1 was pretty good, all things considered. I was very surprised with the pole because it had looked through practice like Alex had a bit more one-lap pace than I did. But, I'll definitely take that one and managed to just hold it in front for the race. Obviously, Alex had a few moves, but it's just so difficult in these cars when the tyres go, so a bit of defensive driving here and there, and I had the job done, and it was easy enough to hold on.
Yeah, well, you did a great job to defend in the way you did and to hold on for the race lead. Looks like race 2 was a lot more eventful, though, with the battling between yourself, Tom Parker, Alex Cooper, and Scott Sovic also. That must have been a pretty frantic second race, but it must be delighted to walk away with race win.
Certainly, I actually got involved in that turn 1 incident and had most of the right-hand side of my car damaged, which early in the race isn't really a problem. These things are pretty robust, but as the tyres go down, you start feeling the damage more. So towards the end, I had issues, but very good racing on the whole. Got to apologise to Jason Muscat. I think I came across him a bit through the final complex, but everything was a bit bunched up, and I just reacted incorrectly. I think he may have spun as a result of that, so apologies to him. Minus that, odd bump here and there, and obviously Alex spinning around Tom at one point, which gave me some breathing space. And I think that actually damaged Alex's car, so when everything cleared up and Scott and Tom had their instance, I didn't have to worry about him catching back up to me. I just cruised it home to the end. So fantastic result from 18th. Really didn't expect it. Didn't expect the double win here either, but definitely take it. Fantastic points for the championship and generally really good day.
Yeah, I was just going to say, obviously, the fact you got a double points finish in front of Alex, that must have been an absolute dream for you in terms of your championship as well. Do you believe you can really capitalise and go on from here?
I can definitely capitalise for carry on as I'm going, and that's not necessarily with the double wins like today, but with the either being close to or with Alex and Petter if he chooses to come back when they're driving, because that's all I really need to do. The points gaps when you stay consistent change by such small margins, and there's not that much left of this championship to go, so I'm hoping that I'm in a good position, but I definitely don't want to say yes or no yet, because there's plenty of races and opportunity for me to spin off yet.
Okay, any questions from yourself there, Lewis?
I was just wondering, you've got 32 points now as a lead advantage in the championship. Do you think you can capitalise and get a bit more as you go into Silverstone?
Silverstone's a track that I enjoy, unlike Istanbul, so I'm hoping for a couple of good results. And obviously with the Championship League like that now, it would probably be worth my time putting a little bit more focus in and making sure that I'm at least with Alex's pace every round. So, hoping to capitalise. You never know, Alex could have mistakes, I could have mistakes, it's all to be seen. I'd love to get more points and consolidate the championship further, maybe with a 50-point lead, so that I could even afford 2 bad races in a row. But yeah, at the moment, absolutely great. Loved it today, and generally speaking, great racing from everyone I was driving with.
Yeah, great stuff there, Oscar. And nice championship lead you got going there, and we'll see if you can keep hold of that for the rest of the season.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Yep, great job there from Oscar Hardwick. Double race victory today. Unfortunately, we're not joined by Alex Cooper or Tom Parker, but we are joined by Scott Sovic. Scott, we'll jump straight into that second race there, because that second race for you was absolutely superb. You had some great pace, battling with the guys up front. It was just that unfortunate moment where Parker came back onto the track and you had that collision. But up to that point, that must have been an absolute dream race for you.
Well, it was definitely. I kind of knew I had that pace, but I was a bit surprised to notice that I could actually keep up with Oscar and Alex and Tom. So I was shaking when I was racing. It was a bit nerve-wracking, but kind of got thrown away when Parker recovered in a strange way back onto the track going into turn 8. So I got a bit stupid, but my point of view. But fifth in that race is very good for me. I think that can help my championship further.
Yeah, well, it's a strong second result for you there. That's really, really good work from yourself. So, massive congratulations on it. Did you think that a podium was achievable though there today?
Yes, I do think so, but it probably would have been 4.
Right. Okay. Well, nevertheless, good job. Any questions from yourself there, Lewis?
I don't personally have a question. I'd just like to say fantastic stuff. It was really a joy to watch. You
Thank you.
fighting for the fourth position, which you said. But I still think you might have had the pace for podium.
I agree with that. I thought you were driving superbly well there, Scott, and I think you've missed out unfortunately there on a potential podium, but nevertheless a 4th place, and you can now move forwards.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, we should hopefully be joined by one final driver. I think Matthew Allington is with us now. Okay, if Matthew can hear us anyway. Matthew, how was your 2 races for you there this evening? Okay, looks like Matthew has got a few problems with his microphone there. Give him a moment. Hopefully he will be back with us.
I've got it now. I forgot to turn off push to talk.
Okay. Okay, so how was your 2 races there, Matthew?
Very mixed. Very mixed. Yeah, I went from the highs of qualifying at the start of race 1 to the lows of my big crash in race 2. I was really, really delighted with 6th on the grid for race 1, considering I had quite a big moment in turn 1 when I had a major opposite lock. Race 1 I made a very good start. I don't know how, but I ended up 4th at the first corner. And then I spun at turn 6 and things didn't go uphill from there really.
Well, you've had a couple of great races there, so congratulations on the results that you've achieved today. Lewis, do you have any questions here for Matthew at all, just before we wrap things up?
Yeah, just one really quickly. Was it quite hard, after the 6-week break we've had since Monaco, was it quite hard to get back into the rhythm of the car, or was it pretty quick?
This is my first meeting in the World Sports Series.
Oh, okay. That's fair enough. Just wondering if it was quite a difficult drive, because it looked like quite a few of the drivers were struggling out on track.
Yeah, it wasn't the easiest to drive. I was struggling with front right tyre wear a bit at the end of race 1, so I couldn't catch up to Mr. Weeks and take him on.
Yeah, well, thank you. It was good stuff. It was good stuff to watch.
It was indeed, and huge congratulations. In fact, if this is your first outing as well there to achieve the results you have done, so congratulations there, Matthew.
Thank you.
More than welcome. Okay, so I think that's all the drivers we have for the press conferences today, so we will wrap things up here. The next race is on... Oh, wow, it's on my birthday, in fact, July the 10th.
Oh, god damn, it's my birthday as well.
Oh, really? Oh,
yes.
Okay. Yeah, July the 10th is the next round of the World Sports Series. This is the British Grand Prix at Silverstone. This is the one that's been designed by Water Design, Sean Stroud specifically. So we'll be looking forward to the new iteration of the circuit. So yeah, join us on July the 10th for that one. But for myself, Nick Rowland, Lewis McGlade, Dave Carl-Smith, who was on the cameras and also race director, and our thanks to simrace.tv, we will see you on July the 10th. Thank you very much.